Welcome to In the Zone. I'm your host, Sarah Dutton. We begin tonight's episode with our Super Sports segment. The MLB season kicked off early this year with a special series in South Korea capital, Seoul. The San Diego Padres faced off against the star-studded Los Angeles Dodgers, with all the attention focused on the international superstar, Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani did not struggle under the spotlight as he finished the game with 2 hits and his first recorded RBI as a Dodger. In the 8th inning, a ground ball that would have been an inning-ending double play went directly through the glove of Padres first baseman Jake Cronenworth, helping rally the Dodgers over the Padres 5-2 in the first regular season game of 2024. The MLB World Tour Series in Seoul continues Thursday, March 21st, with opening day for the rest of the league coming up next week on the 28th. Looking towards the hardwood, the Boston Celtics are the first team in the league to officially clinch a playoff spot, with a month of basketball yet to play. They hold a 10-game lead over the second-place Milwaukee Bucks. Some teams that have been making some noise lately is the Orlando Magic, who have won 4 straight games in the midst of their 8-game home stretch. They are currently 5th in the conference behind the 4th-place Knicks by a half a game, along with the Houston Rockets, who won 10 of their past 11 games, led by Jalen Green, who has averaged 26.5 points per game while shooting almost 50% from the field. They are now 2.5 games out of the play-in tournament and could continue the streak to make a late push for the 10th seed. With the end of the NHL season on the horizon, the Stanley Cup playoffs discussion has picked up with the Panthers being the favorites to win it all, along with the Avalanche, who have been red hot recently, winning 9 of their last 10, along with 7 straight. They're currently tied with the Jets for first in their division, each at 93 points in the Eastern Conference. In the Eastern Conference, the Panthers are 3 points behind the conference leading Boston Bruins, and yet they seem as the team to beat in the East. Another team to keep an eye on is the New York Rangers. The Rangers could be the only team to knock off the Panthers, as they have boasted impressive wins against top-seeded teams, making a late push in points that have helped them sit on top of the Metropolitan Division. There are a handful of important games down the stretch, and In the Zone will be keeping tabs on all of them. This past weekend, the NASCAR Cup Series returned to the concrete of Bristol, Tennessee. The race began with Ryan Blaney earning the pole position with Josh Berry and Denny Hamlin following. After a fast start and a few lead changes, the first incident occurred on the track by Tyler Reddick, resulting in a stack-up of multiple cars, along with Kyle Busch spinning out on lap 123, giving Ty Gibbs the Stage 1 win. Stage 2 was eventful, with Ricky Stenhouse wrecking and later returning, along with Ty Gibbs winning his second stage of the day. After a total of 36 total lead changes in the first 2 stages, Denny Hamlin would win the Food City 500, making it back-to-back wins for him in Bristol. Now let's get into some discussion. With college softball off to an exciting start, the women's national soccer team staying dominant, and March Madness officially here, we have a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. In the Zone starts now. Starting off with a sport we don't talk enough about, college softball. Players from around the nation have already started to put their stamp on the 2024 season, with some important games coming up. One of the most crucial events of the season, the Clearwater Invitational, gave us a sneak peek of which teams will be a force to reckon with, and which teams may have gotten too much hype in the offseason. Teams like Northwestern and even LSU showed up, while teams like Tennessee and Stanford ended up being slightly underwhelming. Now a month later, Venessa, what can we make of these teams? Do you have any favorites?
So I always have 2 favorites. I always go for UCLA and Tennessee. Neither of them are doing great so far. I'm not going to lie. I wish they were doing a bit better. But what I do have to say is I am glad Oklahoma's going down.
Yeah.
They lost their 71-game win streak.
Wow.
And I couldn't be happier about that. I'm tired of seeing them win. I'm tired of seeing Oklahoma. I'm tired of seeing Oklahoma State, who just lost to Tulsa 3-0. Love me a good upset. And I think all the teams that I normally hate have been sinking this year.
Oh,
and that makes me happy as a certified hater.
Right, you're like, this is lining up for me.
This is lining up for me.
This is a little too good for me.
Yeah, like LSU's going down. I normally don't mind LSU, but like I want a little underdog story. Ole Miss beat them in a series, but they're still not ranked, which makes no sense to me. But LSU is still number 3 on the rankings. Does that make sense to me? No. Do I make the rankings? Also no.
But if you did,
if I did, get them off. at least bring them down a little bit. But I'm really, like I said, I'm still rooting for UCLA and Tennessee. UCLA is, I think, is ranked number 12 right now. I'm hoping they can bring it up, but I don't know. I can't. Again, I don't make the rankings.
Yeah.
I just hope they win a bit more, and I can tell Arizona seems to be falling off a bit this year.
Yeah.
Bama's not as highly ranked as they normally are.
I have noticed that. Yeah.
What can I say? What manifesting? I've been manifesting this downfall for years.
Your time has finally
My
come.
time has finally come. I'm a very happy woman.
Yeah. Kymari, do you watch college softball?
What are your thoughts? I dabble in it a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely Texas has been on my radar. I've seen a few of their games. I was wondering what Venessa's thoughts on Texas was.
They're there. They're not.
They're there. Okay.
They're not like my enemy. They're just there. I don't mind them too much.
Okay. It's race week over in Melbourne as the 2024 Formula One Grand Prix season continues. It's lonely at the top for reigning World Drivers' Champion Max Verstappen, who had amassed 51 points in the first 2 races of the season. However, all eyes will be on the improvements of Furland Mercedes, along with 2 hometown favorites in Oscar Piastri and Daniel Ricciardo. Hopes of a battle between teams Ferrari, McLaren, and Mercedes brings us an interesting race for our top 4 teams. With a great individual drivers and a strong battle for the Constructors' Championship, Kymari, what are your predictions for this upcoming race in Australia?
Well, you know my love for Team McLaren.
I know.
You know I love Team McLaren. It's Oscar Piastri's home race, so that's definitely going to be an exciting one for him. And Daniel Ricciardo over there in Visa Cash App RB, whatever that team name is now. Don't quote me on that one. But as a big Papaya fan, as a big Lando Norris McLaren lover, I'm definitely rooting for them to get up there in that top 2. Ferrari's in there right now, but the thing about F1 is that even though Max, you know, he's our top guy over there at Red Bull, and they're definitely in the lead for the Constructors' Championship, even though there's only been 2 races. Even with them, I think it's going to be an entertaining race.
Okay.
We have these next 3 teams who are battling it out. Ferrari, who lost their driver Carlos Sainz last week to appendicitis. So, they lost him. And 18-year-old driver Ollie Bearman stepped in. So we saw him, youngest Ferrari driver ever, to step in and score some points. So, you know.
History repeats itself with that story, though.
It does. It does. A couple of seasons ago when Alex Albon had appendicitis, brought in another rookie, Nick DeVries. He's not racing anymore, though. He got kicked out. But he got kicked out to bring back Daniel. And we love Daniel. He was a McLaren before. If we had to pick, my guess is that McLaren's going to make a good run. Oscar's going to do good, especially in qualifying. I think he'll be able to get to Q3. I don't know. I'm rooting for my orange car.
Yeah.
And my red car. And my silver car. I love all the teams.
Vanessa, will you be joining us for this midnight watch party for the race?
What day is it again?
Sunday, right?
Sunday's race day.
Don't know what number that is.
Maybe.
It'll be fun.
It'll be something.
The U.S. women's national soccer team recently appeared at the CONCACAF Women's Gold Cup, held in San Diego, California, just a little over a week ago. The tournament resulted in a U.S. victory, something that was a much-needed morale booster after a disappointing World Cup performance from the summer, and the changes in head coaches. The U.S. women's national team is known for their dominating performance on the international stage, winning the World Cups in 2015 and 2019. Many players on the 2019 and 2015 roster have since retired, like standout players Julie Ertz, Carly Lloyd, and Megan Rapinoe, hanging up their cleats in recent years. The American team has introduced lots of new players, including kind of a learning curve in terms of the team learning each other's strengths and playing styles. Some standout new players include Trinity Rodman, Sophia Smith, and Jaden Shaw, each respectively gaining confidence on the field as they emerge as some of the next generation's best players. With the 2024 Paris Olympics around the corner, the national team has just a few months to prepare and play in the She Believes Cup in the beginning of April. Vanessa, what are your thoughts on the women's national team and their future?
I know nothing about women's soccer. I knew Megan Rapinoe, or however you say it. Rapinoe. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't watch soccer. I don't know anything about soccer. I don't know anything about football. I'm just here for a good time today.
All right, well then you're shunned for a minute. Kymari, what do you think?
Well, I like soccer.
Yeah.
I play FIFA on the PlayStation, but I don't think that counts as knowing too much about the game. Barcelona fan, if you're into Spanish La Liga League. I like that. But with the national team, with the women's national team, I think they'll do good. I think they'll have a good run. I root for them. I saw 2015 and 2019, so maybe 2024 will sneak its way in.
Right, that's what everyone's hoping.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, like all those key players that like when you think of women's soccer, you think of like the Megan Rapinoe or Rapinoe. Not Rapinoe. No, I know Megan Rapinoe. Carly Lloyd. Like you think of those names, they're not on the team anymore.
Right.
It's these new girls who have to like kind of step into those roles.
Yeah, but you can't all of these legends were once new, so it's like you can't just expect them to fail just because they're new, and like they're learning. And sometimes just fresh blood is what you need to win.
Yeah, especially like with the changes in coaching. Hopefully the new coach, Emma Hayes, she'll be like on board, I think, in time for the Olympics. Hopefully she'll be like a positive impact on the team. Because I love women's soccer. I can't wait for the Olympics.
Yeah.
So fun.
I'll be watching that with you if you watch the race with me.
All right.
Okay.
Compromise, I guess.
Deal.
I'm just watching for gymnastics.
We now send it over to Elizabeth Witch for the latest in Marauder athletics. Elizabeth?
Thanks, Sarah. The Millersville baseball team is on an impressive winning streak, winning their last 10 games in a row and putting up a record of 8-0 in conference and 8-13 overall this season. They swept the PSAC East Awards this week, with Keegan Soltis winning Athlete of the Week and pitcher Carson Kulina taking home Pitcher of the Week as well. The Marauders will be back on the road on Friday, starting their division series with Kutztown. The softball team's very own Elise Angelo took the school record for runs batted in on Sunday, clearing the bases in their first game against Jefferson. They ended the weekend with a record of 9-8, losing to the Rams later that day. Millersville tennis teams have been going through some ups and downs this week, with the men's team losing 6-1 at home and the women's team halting a 4-game losing streak with their win against Jefferson this past weekend. Good luck to both teams, who will be on the road again to take on Chestnut Hill this upcoming weekend in Philadelphia. And to end this week on a high note, the men's basketball team received yet another award this season, as senior Matt Dade was named All-Atlantic Region second team, making him one of 10 players in the region to join the team, and the first Marauder to do so since Charlie Parker in 2008. Along with Gerald Redding, only 3 players in Millersville history have ever been given this honor, scoring 576 points this season and 937 points in his college career overall. Dade contributed massively to the team's incredible 24-7 season. That's it for this week in Ville Sports. Now sending it back to the desk to talk about college basketball bracket predictions. Sarah?
Thanks, Elizabeth. With Selection Sunday behind us, March Madness can officially begin. Starting off on the men's side of the ball, the teams to watch at the 1 seed include UConn, North Carolina, Houston, and Purdue. One of those teams, however, stick out a bit, and not in a good way. Purdue has certainly given themselves the title of upset favorite, especially after their first-round exit last year. So, Kymari, can Purdue turn things around, or will they continue their streak of choking in the tournament?
I don't know. Purdue just lost to Wisconsin in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And see, this could either go 2 ways. They could come in, they could be stiff, they could be like, oh, we just lost, we're going to lose again. Or, I'm choosing to be more optimistic.
So am I.
I'm choosing to think that they're going to come in fresh off of a loss, and it could propel them, catapult them into a run. Maybe we'll see them upset a few people. I don't know. One of 2 ways.
This is might be a hot take.
Yeah?
But I have them in Final Four.
Do you?
I believe in them.
I believe in them. So you're riding on them.
Where
Okay,
do you-
good.
Where do you
I
have
made-
them ending?
What?
Where do you have Purdue going to?
Let's check the bracket.
Let's check my bracket. Oh, they're not going far. See, because I see, I'm gonna get hate for this. But I like Gonzaga. So I'm feeling as though they could beat Purdue. And I know it's not gonna happen, and I know it's not. But I have money that it is. And you'll see me that day. You'll see me running around this, studio, happy that Purdue lost.
But what if Purdue wins?
You won't see me.
Yeah, what about you, Venessa? Who do you have in your Final Four? What are you thinking?
Final Four, I'm kind of riding the top guns here.
Okay.
UConn versus North Carolina and Houston versus Kansas.
Okay.
I don't know anything about any of them. I'm here based off of vibes and vibes alone.
Okay.
And you know what? It hasn't failed me yet. I got that big upset last year with that team from Jersey.
Okay.
They made it that far. Only reason I was even close to winning my bracket last year, but
That's how I'm kind of making mine. I'm basing it off of what
Vibe
upsets.
checks.
Well, upset.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the underdog here. Much like our beloved 2017 Eagles team. I think they can go all the way.
That's a good way to do it.
Beyond Purdue's pattern of choking, many other teams have legitimate chances of going the distance this year. So Venessa, maybe you like UConn, Houston, or North Carolina. Would you have any other favorites in mind to win the men's tournament?
Well, you see, I have UConn versus Kansas as my championship game. So there's someone who isn't in the top. They're pretty highly ranked. I think they're 4 seed.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
Check the bracket.
Check the bracket. Where's Kansas? Where's Kansas?
The bracket is important.
4. I was right.
There you go.
God, I'm
Never
so
doubt
good at
yourself.
this. Yeah. But I still have UConn winning it.
Okay.
I have them winning 71-58.
Okay.
Enough of a score for each team, but one enough to pull away.
Yeah, that's a pretty popular choice, I
Yeah.
think.
What are your twos?
Guys, don't make fun of me.
We would never.
Going for upsets.
Okay, yeah.
I think Auburn could win.
Really?
No, because I agree.
Yeah?
No, because I like Auburn.
Yeah.
Is it because
I
you
agree
like
with
Auburn,
you.
or are they good?
I think that they have
They
good
have
defense.
potential.
Yeah.
I think they have potential. I'm going for
I believe
Kentucky,
in them.
though.
Oh, okay.
What are you going for?
Kentucky.
Oh.
Yeah, I like 2 of their freshmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They score points good, and they're the Wildcats.
Yeah.
I must say the Wildcats. That makes me happy for their mascot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like their freshmen.
Okay.
What are their names? Dillingham and Shepard. Don't quote me on it, but I like them.
So maybe not this year, but future years.
No, this year.
Oh.
They've got it this
Or
year.
this year and the next
Kentucky's
4.
winning it all.
Kymari's in for fresh blood.
I am. Those old
You're
guys,
all
I don't
in.
really care what they do. They can go
Old
to
guys
the
at the ripe age of
NBA
23.
or whatever.
22.
Yeah. I like them. Kentucky.
Yeah. All right then. On the women's side of things, there are many headlines going into tournament week that make this year an extra special one for the women's tournament. The biggest headline, however, has to be Caitlin Clarke's performance that has cemented her as possibly the greatest college basketball player ever. She's a huge part of the reason that Iowa is a 1 seed going into the tournament, but as automatic as her dominant performances seem, that doesn't mean a tournament win is automatic. So Kymari, how far do you see Caitlin Clarke carrying the Iowa team? Can they go all the way?
I see them going far. I don't see them going all the way.
Okay, I totally agree with you.
I adore watching Caitlin Clarke play. I think she's phenomenal. However, basketball to me and to all should be a team sport. So, love to see her name in headlines, but I don't know. I'm rooting for Carolina.
Okay.
I think South Carolina can go pretty far. UConn as well. They're flying under the radar. They're playing some great basketball. I don't know.
It's because Caitlin Clarke is drawing all the media attention.
Yes, they're flying under. They're gonna sneak in. They're gonna attack.
And I agree with you. I don't wanna jinx anything. But often when a team has that star player that they're relying on, something happens.
Right. Yeah.
Whether injury or they just don't perform up to their standards.
Right.
The pressure gets to them.
Exactly. I mean, I love Caitlin Clarke.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she can carry Iowa to win the entire tournament. What about you, Venessa?
So I do have Iowa going all the way, but I also, my roommate might actually kill me if I say that it's only because of Caitlin Clarke. We had a whole conversation in our kitchen the other day.
Yeah.
And we have to agree, though, Caitlin Clarke's teammates are also helping propel Iowa.
That's true.
Like, just because she's the one making the headlines doesn't mean they're not doing their best as well. Like, they're still carrying her to that spot.
Right.
So, yes, it is Caitlin Clarke's team, but not really. It's everyone. There's no
Right.
INT for a reason.
That's so true. Except in the... Yeah, I'm going to not say that. Another headliner for this tournament is LSU and their sneaky presence heading into the tournament. Last year, this team was a force to be reckoned with, and this year, they've made it clear that they are aiming for back-to-back tournament wins. Despite being a 3 seed heading into the tournament, they still have shown the dominance to be competitive in every game they play, no matter how great their opponents are. Can LSU go back-to-back Venessa, or is it someone else's year to win it all? I mean, we kind of touched on this a little bit.
Like I said, I like LSU, not as much in softball, but I feel like they could get there, but I'm still going for Iowa. I'm gonna, what's the word for it? I don't know. But,
Great.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm just gonna hope Iowa wins just because I want to spite my roommate as much as I love her. But I think LSU does have a good chance of making it pretty far in the tournament.
I mean, I have them winning.
Oh, really?
I do. I think they are gonna...
You have LSU winning.
I do.
Okay.
I think they can do it.
I think they
Great reason, Sarah. No, but I think they could. I think they are gearing up. They've been practicing a lot. They've looked good in their games, and I think they could win back to back.
Back to back is hard.
I think that pressure might get to them. Like we said that with Caitlin and them, but what about LSU?
LSU's different.
They're not as dominant this year. Back to back is hard.
True. Maybe that'll help them.
And
though.
I just love South Carolina.
Yeah, I have them making to Final Four.
Okay. Just not winning at all.
Just not winning at all.
Okay.
Who's in your Final Four? If you had,
I don't have a Final Four.
Okay.
I have South Carolina winning it.
Okay. There's no question.
That's my Final Four. My Final Four is the Final One, South Carolina.
Okay. Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
I'm excited to watch the games because
very
I'm not a huge basketball fan,
You're not.
Really?
but I do get into March Madness.
Okay,
I
good.
do like it a lot.
I don't watch basketball often. My ESPN Plus is reserved specifically for softball, but I might have to use it for March Madness this year.
An exception will be made.
Yeah.
And it'll be okay.
And soccer and Formula One.
Don't know about that one.
Well, that'll do it for this week's episode of In the Zone. For Venessa Anders, Kymari, Clarke, Elizabeth Wick, and the entire In the Zone crew, I'm Sarah Dutton. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time right here on In the Zone.